All right, so what's going on, guys? Goofy Rexy here. Hope everybody is doing well, and wanted to make a video today and talk about, I'll probably title this video like the game plan, or probably put it on the thumbnail somewhere, but ultimately wanted to talk about what to prioritize right now. I guess kind of resetting what to prioritize here in Marvel Strike Force. We got a lot of information that happened over this past week, and that's kind of what prompted me to make this video, is that we got some information from a leak video from Tana that broke down the kits of these new characters that are coming to MSF, and then also these rework characters, right? So if you haven't seen it already, go check it out. There's this Deathseed Team that's supposed to be a legendary Horsemen team, another legendary Horsemen team for Apocalypse, which we're assuming is going to be the team that Archangel is going to be on, but we know that there's going to be a new character, Dark Beast. There's going to be reworks to Psylocke and Magneto that are going to be a part of that team. There's this Undying team that is going to feature a new character called Zombie Iron Man, and then there's going to be a rework to Hela. There's also a War Dog team, which is going to feature, I think it's going to be what, Nakia and Black Panther 1 million BC that are going to be added to that team, and then some reworks here to a couple characters going to be a part of that team. So the question is, like, there's some excitement, right? It's like, okay, this is exciting, but it's also, what do I work on? What do I try to prioritize? Do I invest into this War Dog team, Undying team? We're going to talk about that here in this video. I'm going to break it down and say, okay, well, number one, you prioritize in this. Number two, you prioritize this. Number three, four, etc. Because I feel like we kind of need to reset some things and figure out what's actually really important here. And I think this is how most players probably should go about prioritizing their roster, even if you're at a lower level, whatever the case is, especially I would say too, if you're someone that's a light spender or free to play. I think this is probably the best direction for you to go in. So the first thing for me in regards to like how to prioritize, how to game plan for your roster here, I would say is to put your highest gear. This is obvious, I think, but still want to mention it. Put your highest gear into your Apocalypse characters, right? So that's going to be your Darkhold team. That's going to be Unlimited X-Men. That's going to be your Gamma team. That's going to be your Deathseed team. That's going to be Spider Weaver, right? These are the characters that you're going to need for the Apocalypse Saga. You're going to need them at gear tier 16 to get a 5-star and in ISO Blue 4, right? To get a 5-star Apocalypse. Like, you're going to need these characters and these teams in order to be able to do it. That's what makes the most sense for you to invest into, because gear and resources are finite. They're not infinite, right? So you want to make sure that you're prioritizing your gear where that's concerned. Now, there will be a question, and I do want to highlight this because I do think it's important and something that people will ask. Well, Unlimited X-Men and Deathseed, those two teams are both mutant teams. So like, should I invest into one over the other? I think it's difficult to answer that question because it's based on where you are in the game, right? I know that I need to do need to invest into Unlimited X-Men because I need to do the difficulty 2 version of the Famine Saga, because I need to get the awakened abilities for Rogue so that I can use the other team her up, right, with the other legendary horsemen that are there in arena, because that's what my Rita Shard is gonna do, right? I'm gonna have to face that. They're gonna get the extra 25% boosted damage to Rogue, and then also to Morgan Le Fay. I need to also make sure that I do that as well for my role. But then what if you are in a position where you probably won't be able to do difficulty 2? Then maybe Unlimited X-Men might not be a required investment for you right now. But if you are doing your Doom raids and you're struggling with your X-Men team that you've already built up already, or you haven't built up X-Men, then yes, I would say priority might be to go with Deathseed instead of going with Unlimited X-Men, right? I hope that was clear. Ask me questions if it's not clear, but that's my assessment on it. If you're in game, you got to invest in, you're probably going to need to invest into now Unlimited X-Men and then also Deathseed, because you're doing both Doom 3 raids, and then you're also in arena with a bunch of crazy people that you're going to need the awakened abilities for Rogue. But if not, then of course you might be able to hold off on Limited X-Men and then work on your Deathseed team instead, because you probably are just limited on your mutant gear. That makes sense. But I think your next priority, apart from your Apocalypse teams, is then going to be focusing on your raid meta teams, right? So for me, that's Red Warriors and Bionic Avengers. I think those are your two best raid full teams. I have Darkhold here. It's actually really Dormhold, but we already have Darkhold here already, so you would already invested into them. but you can use them in the Mystic section of your Doom raids alongside Dormammu. If you don't have Dormammu, you can use other characters, which we'll talk about here in this video, alongside Morgan Le Fay. But we'll get to that a little bit later on. We talked about Deathseed already. Deathseed is rumored to be a mutant raid team, so that's the reason why they're here. And yes, they're a raid meta team. There, you're gonna want to prioritize that. Secret Avengers with Kestrel and Shang-Chi. This is still your skill raid option right now. Maybe that will change in the future, but right now I still think that Kestrel and Shang-Chi, Secret Avengers, that these are still your best options. And I think that's a collective agreement that these are your best options here for your skill Doom raids. And then I would say your third primary focus should probably be on teams that you need for Scourge, which once again, as you start, you're going to start to see, right? There's going to be a lot of overlap with some of these teams and some of these characters. It's Web Warriors again, right? Which you're going to need for Pestilence Scourge event, which we are already invested into for raid content. And then there's Young Avengers, right? Which are your best team for your Famine Scourge event. They're also great in a lot of other game modes too. They're actually been good in pretty much basically every Scourge event for the most part. I know that Young Avengers for me were pretty clutch in Node 4 for the War Scourge. So therefore I'm pretty content with the fact that I've invested into Young Avengers. Then you have your Hero S Guardian team, which were great for your War Scourge event. And then we know Bionic Avengers is going to be a team that is required to use for the Death Scourge for your Node 5 and Node 10. And because you're going to be doing Doom raids with them anyways, I think it makes a lot of sense for you to invest into this team, right? Like it's enough is said where that's concerned. Then I did put down some second tier Scourge team options that are here, like your Dark Hunters. I do think for Pestilence Scourge that Web Warriors do need a little bit of help if you're doing higher difficulties and more Scourges. I think Dark Hunters are necessary for at least Node 10 to be able to go in for a sack. I think for your Famine Scourge, A-Force is a little bit better. They're not great. They keep on throwing them into a lot of these events too, so it's kind of like penalizing you for not having them a little bit. But I do think that A-Force can work as a little bit of a sack. I think I actually like Spider-Woman and Captain Marvel. Those two characters can be a little plug and play into some areas, so I do think that you can get some value there. For Wave 1 Avengers, I kind of threw them down here for lower level players, right? Like if you can't get to Hero S Guardians, then I think Wave 1 Avengers are okay. I wouldn't bring up Black Widow or Captain America past gear tier 12, but keeping in mind that Iron Man, Hulk, and Thor are part of Wave 1 Avengers, I kind of snuck this one in there just for some lower level players that probably are going to struggle for some of those earlier Scourges. I do think that Wave 1 is kind of a good team to use there. I might be forgetting a team, so let me know that too, but I'm happy to put them here. And then I also put down Cosmic Crucible, right? So once again, there's going to be a lot of overlap here, and I don't think that you're going to want to specifically invest into characters for that's not true, because I'm gonna amend that in a second. There's gonna be a lot of overlap here. I think what you do with Cosmic Crucible is that you kind of pick and choose, right? You kind of pick and choose. There's individual characters, and I put down here very important game mode, right? So I think it's a very important game mode because so technically you have raids in Cosmic Crucible, right? That's where you get most of your teal gear from. Raids actually gives a little bit more teal gear because you get a lot of these orbs. It's just that you're getting a lot of origin gear, but that's really kind of primarily where you're getting a lot of your origin gear from. And then it also can land your hero uniques as well, but you're not landing your mini uniques from the teal gear raid orbs. Now with Doom 3 raids, you have your teal elites where you're able to get some of those mini uniques from that, but you're not getting like a vast assortment of them. So where you get a lot of your mini uniques are from Cosmic Crucible, from a Cosmic Crucible store, and by getting those credits, right? So therefore Cosmic Crucible becomes an incredibly important game mode. You can also get additional hero uniques for your characters too. So Cosmic Crucible is important, but a lot of the characters and teams that you've already invested into are then going to overlap to be used into Cosmic Crucible as well. But there are some individual characters that you want to look at and say, okay, well, I probably should still invest into these characters and use them for Cosmic Crucible, right? So like Dormammu, if you can get to Dormammu, that makes sense. I should have also put down here Doom. I don't know why I didn't do that, but Doom is a character that I would also recommend to use on Cosmic Crucible as well. Killmonger and Shuri. So I'll show you one of the comps that I've been using with Killmonger and Shuri here. This is Maria Hill with Shang-Chi and Captain America Sam. So 3 characters that I use on my skill raid team, right? With Shuri here and Killmonger, part of the Wakandan team. Wakandans are great in Cosmic Crucible, but I've found usages by using these 2 characters. They're usually very good against, especially this season right now, against those mutant teams that are in a room 4 or elsewhere. I find that this team can actually do very well against them. A lot of sustain because of the deflects and Maria Hill healing from those deflects. Captain America Sam and also Shuri throwing up defense up. You get additional damage there from Killmonger with his passive. There's a lot of really good things that you can get using this team. So there's some of these like individual characters that you can invest into for Cosmic Crucible. May not have to invest into their full team, where you can get some solid value and some solid usage out of it, right? And then there's Eternals. I hate that they're not farmable, but I found some usages using Eternals as well, right? So this is a team right here with Loki and Emma and Sharon Carter, and I use successfully against other Gamma teams that are in room 5. That's usually, you got to make sure that you stun She-Hulk and that stuff. There's a special way of playing it, but at the same time, this is a comp that I use against those Gamma teams. You can also probably use, I mean, I'll say this too. I'm already reluctant to say it because I don't want to tell people to invest into Star-Lord, but there's like a Star-Lord Doom Eternals comp as well that does work against Gamma too, with Loki. So I think it's Star-Lord, Doom, Loki, and then Eternals that you can use against those Gamma teams as well in room 5. But this is a little bit more reliable, and you're also invested into characters already. I think that there's some individual characters here that are great. I put Emma here. I would say that as an individual character, that Emma is something that is, Emma's a recommended character that I would say as an individual character that you can invest into. And then there's Omega Red, right? Who I would say that is, while his team is not great, I still think that Omega Red individually provides a lot of solid value. You can always team him up with some other characters like Doom, like Eternals. You can always team them up as well to use them against some other comps that are there. Weapon X team is okay. I don't feel that they're terrible. It's just not a lot of people are going to care about War, right? I didn't put War here as a priority investment. So therefore, I've kind of said, I don't really know if you need to invest into a full Weapon X team anymore. Maybe Lady Deathstrike is okay, but I feel like you can find some other characters that you can kind of plug and play here with Omega Red. Now, I didn't put Arena on here, and I know I'm probably going to get chastised for that right now, but this is my thought process. If you're already invested into Darkhold, you're already invested into other legendary Horseman characters, you're going to have an Arena team. You're going to have an Arena team, right? If there's a new Arena team that comes out that's not legendary Horseman, then sure, you invest into that team, but you're already going to have an Arena team if you're invested into the Darkhold team already. So I didn't feel like I needed to specifically blatantly say, hey, invest into Arena as a priority as well, because that's literally something that you're already doing by investing into these other things. So hopefully this is helpful to kind of simplify and reset your thoughts on what is the most important thing. I didn't fully go through my Cosmic Crucible stuff here. There's also like Infinity Watch that could be a team to invest into as well, but I feel like if you've already invested, it makes sense to maybe boost them a little bit, but right now probably not. I have Uncanny here too. This is just for this season. I probably wouldn't go out of my way to invest into Uncanny, although they have gotten me a lot of defensive victories in Cosmic Crucible so far. But I am hoping, guys, that this was a helpful video to kind of help you to reset your thoughts on what's the most important thing. If War Dogs, if Undying then becomes a team that you need for a Scourge event, then you invest into them, right? But apart from that, I would say prioritize this way. This is the way I will probably prioritize to make sure that you're utilizing the resources on your roster to the best of your ability, and that you're not overstretching yourself, you're not overcomplicating your roster, not overcomplicating your thoughts on what you need to invest into. That's probably the direction that we're going. I also probably should have put that on this list as well. Spider-Man 2099. That's probably something I should have mentioned too. Like Spider-Man 2099 with Spider-Weaver in room 3. Was it room 4? I think it's room 3. is a little bit of a challenge too with any other characters that you kind of throw in there. So those are my thoughts, guys. Let me know where you guys stand. What are you focusing on right now? How do you want to prioritize? Was this video helpful? I'm happy to kind of continue to do things like this, because I do think that sometimes we do need to sort of kind of reset our thoughts on what we're actually prioritizing on our roster, and not just letting ourselves just go crazy when you don't have the resources to do it, or you get penalized for using resources where you're not supposed to, right? All right, guys, listen, appreciate you watching the video. Thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel here. Until next time, guys, y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe.